clock and the lantern's flame is steady. I step across the boards and know my way. The cows are breathing slow, they don't ask questions, they just wait. The dry fields are pressing on my mind, but here the air is thick with hay and thyme. And I lean against the store, full of nothing to do, just the sound of their chewing pulling me through. A piece of morning light finds a crack in the wall, and suddenly I'm not looking for rain at all.
My hands have mapped this barn 1,000 mornings, each nail, each hinge, each splinter in the beam. But today a sunbeam lands across the grain dust, slow and clean. It's not a sign, it's just how the roof is made. Something in my chest begins to fade,
and I lean against the stall, full of nothing to do, just the sound of their chewing pulling me through. A piece of morning light finds a crack in the wall, and suddenly I'm not looking for rain at all. The wind outside is moaning through the gas,
but here the warmth is from the animals' backs.
I didn't come here looking for a prayer, I came to fill the buckets, and I'm still here. So I lean against the stall, full of nothing to do. The sound of their chewing is pulling me through. A piece of morning light finds a crack in the wall, and I'm not looking for rain at all. No, I'm not looking for rain at all. Hayrack creaks as I swing the heavy bale, toss it down where the heifers wait to eat. The dust of summer clings inside my lungs, and through the slats a child's laugh repeats. It cuts the quiet like a sudden match, strikes a memory I thought I'd let go. And I don't know why that sound has followed me from years ago when this old place was full, when every stall was filled with something more than straw. The barn was filled with song that harvest eve, fiddle and guitar beneath the loft. The grain bins turned to benches, makeshift bright, and everyone forgot the work it cost. Old Martin bowed his bass against the wall, my mother's apron tied around her waist. The oil lamp swung, shadows had no chill, and every face was welcome, no one chased. The rose like vapor through the beams. Cotton bales became a pew to rest. Now dawn is gray, the only music's wind, but the child's laugh is like a hymn that never ends. Because the barn was filled with song that eve, and I am still inside that sound. Even now as steam falls from my mouth, still standing where the rafters believed. Sit on the shelf where she placed me 15 years back, when his fingers were still warm and the workshop was packed. She dusts me each week with a rag from his shirt, and her hands smell of leather and faint honest dirt. The clock on the wall ticks the seconds she's kept since the day that she promised she'd never forget. And she lights me at dusk when the shadows grow long, not for light, but for something that feels like a song. I've seen her sword wrenches and cry by the door, holding a chisel he used to restore. I've seen her stand still with a wrench in her hand and whisper his name to the sawdust and sand. But lately she's different. She smiles as she cleans, like she's found a companion in all the in-betweens. The clock counts the hours she spends on her knees, not praying but rubbing the oil off the keys. She found his old Bible beneath the workbench, and the pages were marked where he'd written, I wrench myself free from the weight of the world when I'm here. She read it and wept, then she dried every tear. And she lights me at dusk when the shadows grow long. Now it feels like a greeting, not just a farewell song. I've seen her sword wrenches and cry by the door, holding a chisel he used to restore. I've seen her stand still with a wrench in her hand and whisper his name to the sawdust and sand. But now she hums hymns while she polishes brass in the glass of my chimney. Don't fog up as fast. She told me last week, I know he's not here, but the quiet's been filled with a different kind of near. I don't need the light to see what I need. The dark makes the growing a little more clear. She still lights me at dusk when the shadows grow long, but the flame isn't hungry, it's steady and strong. She's stopped sorting wrenches, she's learning to let them rust, and she's finding the holy in letting go of the dust. The ground is still soft where I walked this morning. The grass been low, every blade holding light. I didn't dream that the clouds would remember that dry field to pray through the long August nights. The first apple fell when I shook the branch gently. A thud on the earth, then the sound of a bite. I stood there a moment, the juice on my chin, and I counted the bins as the morning grew bright. One more harvest song, not for the plenty, but for the patience that brought it around. One more full basket, one more thank you that rises like dust where my feet touch the ground. I remember the weeks when the leaves curled inward, when the pump handle groaned and gave only dust. I remember the nights when I sat by the fence line and whispered for water. I'd given my trust. Now the branches are bent with the weight of September, and the wind through the orchard sounds low and slow, like a hymn that the trees have been learning since April, and they're singing it soft where the ripe apples grow. One more harvest song, not for the plenty, but for the patience that brought it around. One more full basket, one more thank you that rises like dust where my feet touch the ground. Dirt in my palm is still damp from the shower. I curl my hand closed and I hold it a while. This is the prayer I forgot how to offer, just standing here breathing and letting him smile. One more harvest song for the rain that came late, for the ache and the waiting that made it so sweet. One more full basket, one more thank you. The orchard is quiet and my heart is complete. Boat rocks slow on a lake that hasn't learned to shine. The line trails off like a thought I didn't finish. I've been here since the water was still black, drawing nothing but silence from the deep. And the stars are fading one by one, like candles after everyone has gone. But the air smells clean like a promise after rain, and the birds start singing before they know the day. I didn't catch a thing, but something caught me, something held me still before the stars could fade.
My hands are cold from the dew on the oars, and my back aches from leaning into nothing. I brought a thermos of coffee that's gone bitter, the stars are fading one by one, like candles after everyone has gone.
But the air smells clean like a promise after rain, and the birds start singing before they know the day. I didn't catch a thing, but something caught me. Something held me still before the stars could fade. Maybe I came here to be empty, so the quiet could fill the space. Maybe the catch was never fish, but this, the waiting, the grace. The air still smells clean like a promise after rain, and the birds are still singing before they know the day. I didn't catch a thing, but something caught me, held me still until the stars fade away. Sat still, the bait untouched on the hook. I left the boat tied to the weathered dock. My boots found sand where the cattails grow, and the river slowed its quiet call I took. I've been chasing the hours, the weight in my chest, like a stone tied to a rope that would not let me rest. And the water whispered low over moss and stone, a rhythm older than my bones. I knelt where the current took its time, and something in me started to unwind. The light turned gold through the cottonwood leaves. I found a stone flat and smooth in my hand. I watched it skip 3 times on the river's face, and the ripples spread like a quiet command. And the water whispered low over moss and stone, a rhythm older than my bones. I knelt where the current took its time, and something in me started to unwind. I didn't pray with words, just closed my eyes, felt the mud between my knees, heard the crickets rise. The river didn't ask why I'd come, it just kept moving, and I felt held by someone. The water whispers low over moss and stone, a rhythm older than my bones. I stay where the current takes its time, and let the healing find its way inside. I walk the ridge where the pines grow tall. Their needles blanket the old deer path. I lay my palm flat against the scale and feel the cold from a season past. A few leaves spin down and touch my arm, like years I can't get back again. And the stillness holds a certain way, the way it did before you spoke. I close my eyes and I let the quiet take me back to the shop where the plane blade woke. The pines remember the song you hummed when you smoothed the board and the grain shone through. Every shaving curl like a prayer unsung, and the walls held nothing but me and you. Now the air smells of cedar and dust again, and I hear you still in the thinning light. The pines remember the song you hummed, and I'm not sure if it's wrong or right. It was a winter I couldn't fix the chair. The leg it cracked where the oak had dried. You came in quiet and stood right there, and you started singing while the wind outside bent the branches low against the glass. I never asked you where you learned that tune, but now I walk where the silence is past, and I catch myself listening for you beneath the bark that has watched the years. The same old ache, the same old fear. The pines remember the song you hummed when you smoothed the board and the grain shone through. Every shaving curl like a prayer unsung, and the walls held nothing but me and you. Now the air smells of cedar and dust again, and I hear you still in the thinning light. The pines remember the song you hummed, and I'm learning to call it right. What I held as grief was just a melody that needed years to find its key. The silence doesn't mean you're gone, it means you're patient and you belong. The pines remember the song you hummed, and they carry it up where the light comes through. Every needle a note that the wind has strung, I'm finally learning to sing it too. I left the beam when noon had baked the steel. The hammer's weight still hanging in my arm. The foreman's truck had raised a cloud of dust. I turned alone down the road that curls to farm. The sky was low and brown along the ridge. It smelled like rain that hasn't found the ground. I scooped a handful of the gravel's edge, felt the grit and let it sift around. And the long gravel road don't hurry me, it just runs its fingers through the trees. I've been waiting for the evening to unwind, let the quiet find my tired bones and mind. One step, one breath, 1 mile yet to go. The long gravel road is teaching me slow. All day I stack the iron and the wood, my spine a question every time I bend. The boss said we'd arraign by Sunday night, and all I thought was I'm already spent. But now the fence posts stretch in even rows, and the only sound is something like a hymn. The crickets starting slow, then falling still, and the dirt I drop is part of what I've been. And the long gravel road don't hurry me, it just runs its fingers through the trees. I've been waiting for the evening to unwind, let the quiet find my tired bones and mind. One step, one breath, 1 mile yet to go. The long gravel road is teaching me slow. I don't know why I stopped to let the dust sift through, maybe to hold something that's lasted longer than I do. The smell of rain that hasn't come yet, seems like patience is a thing I haven't met. So the long gravel road, it carries me home, every stone a prayer I've never known. The weariness is settling like the light, and the silence feels like someone holds the night. One step, one breath, the last mile is slow. The long gravel road is teaching me slow. The last car pulled away, its dust settled slow. I stood at the iron latch where the fence posts bow. My sermon still hung in the rafters like smoke, a hollow echo from a voice I no longer know. I thought I was done, thought I had nothing left, but the wind through the fence played a single note. And I pressed my palm against the cold inch, feeling the rust where the rain had been. I didn't pray, not yet, just let the air carry the scent of old Bible pages, thin from the book I left open on the pew inside, where the morning light fell on the words I tried to hide. So I waited at the gate. I didn't ask for a sign, I just let the gate have its say. In the spaces between the lines, the wind through the fence kept passing through. I guess something else was passing through me too.
I remember the day I first set foot in this place, fresh from seminary, sure of every line I trace. Now the pages are soft from my thumb and my tears, and the gospel I preach feels older than the years. I thought I was building a house for the truth, but the foundation was cracked by the silence I used.
And I let go of the latch, let my hand fall away. The wind pushed the gate an inch, then stayed. I could hear the wood settle into the frame, like a breath held too long, finally released. And the smell of the Bible from the open page became the smell of rain just before the storm gives way. So I waited at the gate. I didn't ask for a sign, I just let the gate have its say. In the spaces between the lines, the wind through the fence kept passing through. I guess something else was passing through me too. 2 cars now, maybe 3, will pass on the road and see an old gate swinging wide in the cold, and never know that a man stood here with his whole faith held in a single fear, that he had nothing left to give. But the gate didn't close, and that was enough to live. Yeah, I'm still waiting at the gate, and I don't need a sign. I'll let the gate have its say. In the spaces between the lines, the wind through the fence keeps passing through. I think something else is passing through me too. And the old Bible pages, they smell like home, like a door I don't have to walk through alone. Clock above the desk ticks slower now. The dust is settling on the final roll. I've read the spines 1,000 times or more, but tonight I'm leaving something I don't know. This isn't just a building full of words, it's every person who sat in these chairs. The child who learned to read in the corner light, the old man who came for the quiet air. So I'm leaving a note for you, whoever you are, behind the counter where the wood is warm. The lamp still flickers when you turn it on, and the silence here is holy as the dawn. Heaven in the ordinary days.
I found a paper slip between the pages, a bookmark pressed with flowers from a garden. Someone wrote a prayer on the margin line. Lord, let me find hope again by evening.
I never met them, but I know their heart. We shared this space across the years apart, and now I turn the key for the final time. The stories stay like vines along the wall, so I'm leaving a note for you, whoever you are, behind the counter where the wood it is warm. The lamp still flickers when you turn it on, and the silence here is holy as the dawn. heaven in the ordinary day. I didn't know that dust could smell like grace, or that a ticking clock could sound like home. But when I turned the key, I felt a hand that was never mine, but held me when I let go. Go ahead, leave a note for the next